Mike Bohn, joined now by the newest member of the UFC roster and the featherweight division, is Mr. Aaron Pico. Aaron, congratulations, first of all. And number two, just what a day, man. How's it feel?
It feels good. I'm really happy and for this opportunity from the UFC, and but my job just it basically just started, so it's good to celebrate it, but we got our work cut out for us. So I'm excited though.
For sure. Yeah. People very excited about this news as well. I guess, like, walk me through, right? You did a bunch of interviews mid-February, including here with MMA Junkie Radio. You wanted your full unconditional release. There was, all the clips on all the outlets and stuff. How did we get from there to here?
Yeah, you know what? At the end of the day, Ali did a great job, and we had a good, conversation with Don Davis, and everything went well. And wish nothing but the best for them. And now we're here, so it was quite a roller coaster, but it was fun in a way. A little scary, but that's what makes it kind of fun.
Yeah. So ultimately, you feel like they did right by you in the end?
Yeah, they did. We had a good conversation, and business is business, and everything went according to plan. And Don Davis, is doing his thing, and now I'm here in the UFC where I've always wanted to be. So, we're looking forward.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I feel like we were all kind of looking forward, like, before this news, right, came out today of just the signing. There's these rumors of a Movsar Evloev fight for May
Yeah.
17th. I guess, like, how real was that? Was that something that was possibly on the table that would come along right with the signing right off the bat?
Yeah, it was real. I mean, I got a phone call from Ali saying, "Hey, can you fight April 17th?" And I said, "Of course." And then I just said, "Who am I fighting against?" And he said, "Movsar." And I said, "Of course, that's a great fight for me." I don't think he knows how good my wrestling is, and he said, "Okay, Movsar agreed too." So I don't know. It was pretty close.
Hmm.
I was a little bit surprised, but ultimately it's not happening. But it was a good sign that they were entertaining the idea of fighting a guy so highly ranked. For him, it was kind of hard because he's number 4. I'm just coming in. I can understand why he probably got advice not to ultimately take it.
Mm-hmm.
But he did say yes, but I'm sure he got with his team and they said, "What are you doing? Just wait." So nothing but respect.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable, right? Like, I interviewed Diego Lopez a couple days ago. He said he wants the rematch with him if he wins the title. Volkanovski
Yeah.
has mentioned it, fights 5 days away. So, like, why
Yeah.
wouldn't you wait a little bit? I can understand it too. But for you, like you said, that shows where they think of you right off the bat. Like, is anything else almost going to kind of feel like a letdown unless you get 3, 2, or 1?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny. I know my phone was blowing up like you're fighting the number 4 ranked guy, and then there's people saying like, "Oh, is he? What am I doing?"
Mm-hmm.
But UFC fans don't really know who I am yet, and they will know soon. And that's what makes this so exciting for me to be able to have the opportunity to showcase my skills with the whole world. I mean, the UFC is global, and it's not, and I haven't been exposed to that yet. So I believe the UFC fans are really in for a treat.
Yeah, I mean, do you just look at this weekend, Michael Chandler and Patricio Pitbull both on this card? Look at, like, the exposure, their name value, how that's changed since coming over from Bellator. Patricio hasn't even fought yet. Do you look at that and be like, that's what I want, that's what's coming my way?
Absolutely. I know the exposure is really good, but ultimately I want to be a UFC champion. That's a goal that I've set since I've been a young kid, and everybody that knows me knows what I'm after, and that's to be the best in the world. And you're not considered the best fighter on the planet unless you have that UFC belt wrapped around your waist. Now I feel it's right there. It's arms. I can reach it now. Before it was a little bit difficult being in another organization. It kept me up at night a lot, saying, "How the hell am I going to get there?" And but I stayed patient, continued to get better, and I knew that it would all work out. And I had to sit out a year, given the circumstances and everything that was happening. But in the end, as I look at it as a whole, it was meant to be. I wasn't supposed to fight for the Bellator World Championship this year, because I would not be having this conversation with you, and ultimately I wanted to be in the UFC. So it all worked out, and my team and I have our work cut out for us. So we're excited, and we're ready for all the challenges.
And I know how you fighters work, right? Like if that Movsar fight, it's being teased there, you were probably, it's pretty close too. You were probably working your ass off in the gym thinking maybe this is going to happen, even if it's not confirmed. How are things transitioning off the back of that? Like, are they still considering you for May 17th? Is the debut going to be pushed back further? How did the conversations change once you knew it wasn't going to be Movsar as the opponent?
Yeah, I think it might be moved back a little
Okay.
bit, but I mean, I was so eager to take the fight because I have been training. My weight is really, really good right now, and with the circumstances and how everything was playing out, I just basically have been on call, and kept my weight down, and been training, and I'm sure we'll have a good sense of direction, where the timeline of the fights and stuff like that very soon. But I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm. I think the one people when those rumors were going around, they're like, amazing fight, amazing debut for Pico. Does he have to debut in the Apex though? I think that was like the
Yeah.
one thing people are like, this man deserves to fight in front of a crowd for the first time. Was that like in your mind at all, or do you not care where it was when it was in that regard?
At the end of the day, like, I'm basically the new man on the job. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, if they want me to fight in the Apex, I'll fight in the Apex. If they want me to fight in a sold out crowd, as long as it has those three letters UFC, I'm good. So I didn't put too much thought into that. Of course, you have a dream of walking out with all kinds of fans, and you know how the UFC fights are. I mean, it's an experience. Of course, a little part of me wanted to have that, but like I said, I'm the new man on the job. So if they called me to fight at the Apex, I would be. I was ready to go.
Mm-hmm. And possible it still ends up there, but your hope would be in front of a crowd whenever that may be.
Yeah, I think I believe April 17th. I believe it's not going to happen, but who knows? You know how the UFC operates. You may get a call a couple of days before saying, "Can you fight?" And I have to be ready. So the training is the same. Um, I'm ready to go, basically.
Yeah, I mean, what like a way to kick things off, right? I'm sure you're looking at this card on Saturday and just looking at every different potential type of opponent. I guess how closely are you looking at this? Are you going to come to Miami and like get an up close look at these guys, experience a UFC event from the crowd and all that stuff?
No, I didn't even think about going to Miami. Maybe I'll jump on a flight, call Ali, and say, "Hey, what can we go to the fights?" That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you
Um,
should.
but yeah, plus it would just be a good training run. I haven't been to a UFC fight in a very long time, just to get used to the atmosphere, get used to the crowd, and yeah, that's a good idea. But I'm really excited for this opportunity, and that's what it is. And I want to take full advantage of it and put on exciting fights for the UFC and for the fans, because that's ultimately why we do it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I really think I'm gonna thrive in the UFC and ultimately become a UFC champion. I feel it.
Yeah, and I'm actually here in Miami right now, as you can see in the hotel room, and we have media day tomorrow morning, Wednesday, and like all six of those ranked featherweights. Patricio, I guess not ranked yet technically, but going to be there. I'm sure every
Yeah.
single person is going to be asked about you and this news. What do you think the tone's going to be like? We know you're a tough fight. Do you think it's going to be like happy to have more depth, like, but he needs to work his way up type of thing, or is it going to be like I'd love to welcome that guy?
No, I think I don't know. That's I'm excited to hear what people have to say as well. Um, but I think people in the top 10 of course, are going to say, well, he needs to make his way up, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, I don't really care who I fight. It can be a guy in the top 10. It can be a guy, not ranked. It doesn't matter. As long as I'm in the UFC, whatever I have to do, but I want to fight everybody. I mean, that's what I do for a living. So if they want me to fight, they call me and say, hey, I want you to fight Aljamain Sterling. Of course, I'm going to fight him. They say, you want to fight Volkanovski or Brian Ortega.
Mhm.
That's my job, is to fight. So I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the rankings now, and like top half pretty much all booked, but that second half, you look at Brian Ortega, Arnold Allen, Lerone Murphy just had a great win, and then Aljamain Sterling, then Josh Emmett now at 10 off that loss. Like all those seem like a lot of fun. One of those names I mentioned, do you feel like that's more realistic, or do you think one of these fights this weekend could play a factor in who the opponent may be for your debut?
Yeah, you know what? All of them, whoever they want to throw at me. I've
You want all
heard,
the smoke?
I've heard Aljamain. I've heard, well, I'm looking at it like this. I was supposed to fight Movsar, so then I said,
Yes.
okay, Movsar is fought. Who is he supposed to fight, and who has he fought last? Well, he was supposed to fight Aljamain. I mean, he fought Aljamain last, so I'm like, oh, let's fight Aljamain. And then I believe I heard he was supposed to fight Brian Ortega. Don't quote me on that, but I'm like, if Brian Ortega's ready to go, then let's fight. You know, I mean, that's how you make money.
Yeah. How much better have you gotten in this last year since we haven't seen you? Like, you're at that age where you're just, rapid improvements and stuff. If people are looking at tape of the guy who's from these past 2-3 Bellator fights, PFL fights, are they in for something completely different?
For sure. I believe I've gotten better everywhere. I mean, just stronger physically and everything. The most important thing, I've gotten stronger mentally. You know, the last couple of years have been tough years, but I've grown and gotten stronger physically, and I'm just like a caged animal ready to go out and fight. Honestly, I just can't wait to go out there and hear the crowd and be in the UFC. So we got, like I said, we got a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah. So what do we think of this scenario, Aaron? You get the debut win maybe sometime in the summer, and then Madison Square Garden in November. I know you share a main trainer with the UFC heavyweight champion, John Jones. Would you ever want to be, if that is his last fight, if they fight in November in MSG, is that something you'd want to do, share a card, or is that like too much for Brandon?
That would be really special, but I understand how this coaching works. It would be fun to be, if whatever I would have to do, but I would let them do their thing, but hey, I know that UFC is having a card in Mexico. I heard, that'd be cool, yes, to fight in Mexico. Is a place I love to be. Guadalajara is a good place. I have some friends that have some nice horses out there and some ranches, so it'd be nice to go knock somebody out and chill and ride some horses. That would be fun.
That would be super. How big of, like, I know we're talking steps ahead here, but like a fight between you and Diego Lopez, Yair Rodriguez in Mexico be?
I don't think it's too far away. I go do my job and give the fans exciting fights. I think it's right there, and that's what I want. I want to go to somebody's hometown or country and fight them. I mean, that's how you become a legend. That's how you become in the Hall of Fame. And like they said, scared money don't make money, and I gotta go win and fight.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Aaron, before I let you go, just a couple of thoughts on these fights this weekend, if you don't mind, I guess, given like a few predictions on the main card there. How do you think Patricio Pitbull versus Yair Rodriguez goes?
Honestly, it's a very, very tricky fight for Patricio. I'm happy for him. He has his opportunity, but the way that Patricio fights and kind of gives distance, I think, is a bad matchup stylistically for Patricio. I think, Yair's distance and distant management, I think he's going to be a little bit tricky for him. I mean, if you look back at Patricio's fight against Sergio Pettis and that kind of weird style, I think Patricio has a bad time with it. So I think Yair is going to get it done. But this is fighting. Anything could happen.
Yeah. Do you hope, like, Patricio fight talked about for so long in Bellator, is that one you hope can happen? Or like, do you feel like maybe depending where things are, if you guys don't cross paths, would you be disappointed?
No, I don't put too much emotional value on that. If we have to fight, of course, I would welcome it. And we were supposed to fight 3 times last year in Bellator, but life is crazy right now. But he needs to go do his job, and I need to go do mine, and maybe one day we'll fight.
Okay, John Silva and Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah, that's a good fight. John Silva's crazy good, but I don't know. I don't have no predictions for that. You never know. Bryce Mitchell may surprise him, but with that power that John Silva has, is nothing to mess around with.
Yeah, I think that's the toughest one to pick. I think Bryce being like a 4-1 or 3-1 underdog like he is right now is a little crazy, but
we'll see. And then after him, so I think there's a lot of people after Bryce, but you can either make or break him. Who knows? I don't know him, so we'll have to see. I'll be definitely watching.
Yeah, and then finally the title fight. Who's going to have that vacant featherweight championship wrapped around their waist? Will it be Volkanovski or Lopez?
Yeah, that's another really good fight. I don't have no predictions, but I feel like Lopez has that energy, that steam right now that it's kind of like it's his time to be a champion. So I think I think Lopez is going to win. I mean, Volkanovski's great, but I think Lopez just has that aura right now. You know, it feels like he's unstoppable. So I feel like maybe it's his time.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was doing some research. Fighters going into UFC title fights off 2 straight losses are 1-5 historically,
Really?
and it's the spot Volkanovski's in. So it's an uphill climb given his age, all that stuff. So we'll see. It'll
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
a big.
he's a legend. He's a legend. He's done a lot in the featherweight division. Respect to him, but I think it's Diego Lopez's time.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, I guess, Aaron, any final parting words or anything we didn't touch on? I guess like my takeaway is here, you're obviously signed, and if they call and say we need you anytime with enough time to cut the weight, you're good.
Of course. Yeah, no, it's just like I said, it's really an exciting time. You know, I was hungry to get here, but now, like I said, I'm starving to go win that UFC belt, and it's going to be a fun journey. The fans are going to see some exciting fights.
No, we can't wait, man. I covered your MMA debut back in 2017, and I think we all felt this day would come one day. I know there's been some stumbles and stuff, but here we are, and I think people genuinely excited for the signing. So that says a lot about what they think of you and this addition to what is an amazing featherweight division, Aaron. So appreciate the time, and we will be eagerly awaiting news of your UFC debut.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.